Hi, I'm Alex.
Hi.
And this is Alex in the City. We're sitting here with Emily. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm happy you're here with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, great. Tell me, who are you?
Who am I? What a question. I think that's a good question, and it's something this year I've definitely been trying to answer because I feel like I wear many hats as it is. I consider myself an actor. I work in television production. I'm starting to write my own material. So what word describes who I am? And I was recently reading an article where you have to have such specific vision. So I think if I was going to choose a word, I'd want to pick creator. You know, just making original content, both having a hand in the production and the creative acting out and delivery is something I want to do because I ultimately want to create material that's going to make people feel something, feel anything. And I feel like that's so important, whether it's live theater or a web series or a short film, that it really has to strike the person. And I feel like that's what's lacking in media nowadays.
Wow, that was a good speech. I'm speechless after your speech.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay, so you're also an entertainer, as I understand. This creator can also be an entertainer.
Yes.
Awesome. What are you working on now?
I am currently filming in a web series. I'm an actor. It's called Leaky Thoughts. We are headway in production right now and hope to go into post this fall for a winter premiere. I really like it. It's written by a friend of mine. His name is Greg Hernandez, and it's such a hard-working crew. Like, we're all there and acting. It's not multicam, it's one cam, so you have to get all the angles right, and we're all just trying to deliver our best work. And it's nice because it's a web series that has a little sci-fi element to it, and it's different from, you know, we're 20-something actors and we're living in New York. So I really enjoy the original storyline that he wrote and my character.
Awesome. What's your character?
My character is called the Technician. She is a psychic that is kind of like the guide of our main protagonist, Jack, who is kind of like the key to whether the world is going to succumb to this man named Rupert, who's trying to mind control as many people as he can. So I'm training him how to use his power, if you will. So that's been really fun for me to figure how one person would do that, and like, what do they believe in? What's their moral standpoint? How do they go about interacting with different people? So it's been a lot of character work that I've really enjoyed.
Awesome. What about your production? You work for MTV, right?
I do. I work with MTV in production management with their docs and specials team because, you know, I've been acting since I was a kid, but I made a deal with myself that I actually got my undergrad in pre-law.
Oh my God.
I know.
How random is that?
Well, it was kind of like professional acting to my parents, but I was like, you know, a production needs more than just actors, and I can learn how to have a hand in that because I think I would enjoy that. So I learned on movie sets, on TV sets, and I would hop from job to job, and I worked working with MTV has been really great because reality television is a whole different beast than scripted. And, you know, I work on shows like Catfish and True Life that are very real and very true.
It's not scripted?
It is not scripted.
Oh my God.
You heard
Really?
it here first, yes. Especially the show Catfish. I appreciate that show because it is real. I've met these people.
But the amount of craziness there, like, it's real?
It's real because, you know, it comes to the underlying that these people are real people living in not so populated cities, and having this internet connection is kind of the closest they're gonna, I guess, be comfortable to get with someone, which is, in a way, it's sad because it shows me in this digital age what's next. You know, if you can lie over the internet to someone that you love for 5 months, like, what does that say about you and what you believe in, you know?
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Oh my God. What are the coolest gigs you've done as an actress?
One of the coolest gigs I did was actually last fall, and it was so random. I remember the audition was on Halloween, and I love that holiday. So I had like some dark lippy on, and I had this really cool skull mesh thing going on, and I went to this audition. I was like, they are not gonna cast me. I look like a weirdo. But you know, I brought my energy, and it was an artist collaboration between these two artists, and they were doing this project called Surrender. And one of the artists, his name was Woe, and he was actually like excommunicated from China for his revolutionary art against like their government there. So what he wanted to do is he had us all, I mean, I think there was about 20 actors involved, dressed in these military uniforms. I was wearing an actual army helmet and had like Sergeant Erickson written inside it. It was so heavy.
Oh my God.
And it just showing soldiers in not compromising positions at all, but like having depth and life to them, like smiling, interacting, hugging. And I found that so beautiful because, you know, you think army, you think like tough, and all of us, that's exactly when we were getting dressed, like, how tough do I look? Ha ha ha. And when we found out what the project was, it's like bringing life and humanity to these people who are, you know, fighting for humanity, that makes it so much deeper, you know, that you have to face that the person that is going into this violent situation is a person with a heart and a soul and joy and laughter and sadness. And that was really, really cool. I really enjoyed that one.
Wow, did you see it already?
It was supposed to come out with Armory Art Week this past year, but I think they wanted to develop it more. They have this sculpture piece that's still under construction because it's like 30 pieces wide. So I think it's going to be either held out till this winter or the next Armory Arts Week in February 2016.
Awesome. I would like to see that. Let me know when
Yeah,
it's out. I want to see that.
You'll see me in my army pants looking all cool.
Okay. Tough, but still with feelings.
Yes, with feelings. It was really fun because we were all like a range of ages and backgrounds, and I love ensemble work for that reason, because I feel like you can talk to different actors and writers and directors and find out what their journey's been, and that's always, I think, just a plus to being in the artistic community.
But you said you started when you were really young.
I did, yes. 11, I think. I went to really tiny Catholic schools my entire life, and I remember I was 11, so I was in like 6th, 7th grade, I think, 11 or 12. And, you know, I think I came out of the womb at like 5'2". So my parents put me into sports to, you know, use my energy.
How tall are you now?
I'm 5'10". Okay. Yeah. So I was on like that growth spurt to like, she has so much energy and she's tall, let's put her in sports. And, you know, that, I guess, helped me develop my competitive side, which you do need to have a sense of drive and competition to be an actor and a creator in general. But I remember finding out that my little school was going to put on a play, The Wizard of Oz. And I was like, what? Yeah, this is it. And I remember I sang Uptown Girl, which was my first ever audition song, and I sang that on the bus. I sang it in the shower. I was going to have every little bit of that song memorized. And I got cast as the wizard. Like, it was so funny because it was so exciting, and I loved every minute of being in rehearsal and learning my songs and my dances. So that was really kind of the bug hit me then, if you will.
Mm-hmm. But I thought your parents maybe did it for you because if you were really young, but it was you.
No,
it was all you.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm going for it. I'm gonna be the wizard. That's it.
Well, I mean, weirdly enough, that's still how it is, because my parents kind of, you know, they'll come and watch and be like, good job, honey. But as far as like making it my life, it's got to be all you know? Because if you don't, then I would question your real drive for it, you know, unless you want it yourself instead of it being something given to you.
Mm-hmm. Do your parents support you in your decision? Do they like the fact that you're a starving actress?
I know. Starving. Always hungry. No. I think they're coming around to it because I think they thought I was just in it for fame reasons, and maybe they just didn't think that was possible, because, and I had to break it down to them, it's just like, listen, I know it's going to be hard, but I don't see myself ever being happy or as happy as I could be by giving it up and, you know, just going to get some job where I could have stability and a 401k and health insurance, and those are absolutely important to, and for a stable lifestyle. But if everybody lived a stable lifestyle, like, would we have any art at all? And I just, for me, that sacrifice is worth it right now, because it's on those days like today. I came from a shoot this morning, I'm shooting now, I have to be up at 6 to shoot again, that I feel exhausted but like alive.
Yeah, I know. That's a positive way of being exhausted. You felt you did something good and you feel good about it. Yeah.
I'm making things and it's gonna be awesome. And that was the thing. I had a rough day on set today because I was going between like learning my angles and trying to portray what my character wanted, and I'm just learning, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna see how that turns out, and I'll remember that day, I'll remember how I felt, and go forward from there.
Awesome. What's the big picture here? What's the plan?
The big picture, I think, has definitely been revised, and I think where I would like to head is really exploring writing my own material, because the more people I meet and the older I get, I keep finding that if I'm unsatisfied with the work that's being given to me, why don't I try making my own?
Yeah.
And I think that would be really, really cool to combine all the skills I've learned, either, helping produce these live events and acting in theater and in film. Just putting that all together would be a really, really nice adventure that I'm going to take on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Maybe one day you can cast me in one of your productions where you're going to be big.
Yeah, I would love that, and that's the whole purpose. We'll think back, like, do you remember that time we did an interview on
Oh yeah. And now we're shooting a big Hollywood movie.
Right, and then just, if we could keep the same heart and soul that we have on The Rock in the Hollywood lot, that is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
It's to keep the heart in the industry, because I think we both know that it's really easy to lose it.
Do you have a side job?
I do. Well, I freelance in production with MTV and with other third-party productions. So I think I use those skills. And I'm also trying to figure out what other skills I can use. Like, I know there's babysitting, there's bartending, but how I met you, media developing for companies. I think that would be something really cool. And I thought that was interesting how we met. We're both actors, but we do other things as well. And I think it's really important as a creative individual to realize the skills you have and use them. If you're going to be unsatisfied at a desk, like, what else can you do? What can you contribute? And figuring that out.
Exactly. I wanted to ask you about sketchy gig you did. Anything sketchy you did? Like weird or...
Weird? The weirdest?
Yeah.
The weirdest was, well, that's actually something I was talking with people about. There's a difference between, you go out for your non-union calls and your union calls. And there was a non-union call for an improv group that would perform monthly shows. And in the audition itself, there's a fine line in comedy in general, where good comedy, effective comedy, makes you laugh at hard truths without hurting anybody. And there's really a fine line where you can hop over and then it's just hurtful, racist, bigotry mess. And I had an experience with that, and it didn't turn out very well. And it's an interesting viewpoint to have as an artist when you're uncomfortable with the material and you're cast to do your job. What line do you take? Do you take your integrity, or do you follow what you're hired to do?
It would be nice if there was like a line that you could negotiate the script with the screenwriter to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
So you could change something to make it sound more like you, or to make it sound more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't always allow you to. That's why you have to become your own screenwriter.
I think I would love to do it if I'm gonna do it for anyone besides myself. Like, women in film in general, I really think are starting to make more of a voice. Like, you see people on the rise who are creating material that is spreading like wildfire on a national level, and it being okay, for women to have a voice other than, it being about a relationship or a relationship problem, or when am I going to get married and have kids. And, there are so many of women of the world who have storylines that differ from that, what I mean? You have people like Lena Dunham, Amy Schumer, Rose McGowan, who is like leading a revolution right now for women in film. If you haven't heard about it, she is kind of, I think she's given up acting and she wants to direct films and, you know, have female protagonists that have more of a storyline, and that is just so good and so important, and I am behind her 10,000%.
Thank you so much for talking to me. This was Alex in the city, and this is Emily. Bye guys.